Trip here from Renaissance Rebels. So what we're gonna do today is talk a little bit about archery. So there's like three real things I want to show you in this video. So the first thing is it's gonna be a recurve bow. So I'm gonna show you how to actually string that bow. And it doesn't have any arrow rests or anything like that. It's a Mongol bow. It's based off what the Mongols used when they're invading China and throughout their various campaigns. So there's some protective equipment that you also have to have when you wear this. So I'm going to show you what that protective equipment is as well. And then after that, I want to just kind of show you how to shoot this target right here through some form and kind of talk you through how you should stand, how you should maneuver, like how to let go and stuff, because it's a little different than shooting a compound bow. I'm not using any kind of technology or any kind of gadgets or anything. It's just literally back to the old school way of doing things with no assistance at all, just going right for it. So the first thing I want to show you is just kind of some stuff you should wear. So I got two things on my hands here that you can see. So the first thing here, this is for your arrow to actually rest on when you go to grip the bow. So you put this on your non-shooting hand. So whatever hand's actually going to hold the bow, you have it right here. And then basically it just straps around like so. And you got part on your thumb, part on your index finger, and the arrow rests there. This other part here has got three fingers here. You're only really going to use two. This is so you can actually grab the string. If you don't have this to grab the string, what ends up happening is it ends up digging in your skin and it causes a lot of pain, and nobody wants that. So you always want to have these, and that's what you're going to use to pull the bow back. So those are the two things you want to have for equipment. And then even before you get to this, you want to really figure out which eye is dominant. For me, I'm right eye dominant. The simple way to do this is to basically form a triangle and then kind of figure out where the target is. And then you figure out which eye, and then you just kind of bring it close to whatever eye sees that. So for me, it's right eye dominant. Some folks are left eye dominant. So if you're right eye dominant, you shoot right-handed. If you're left eye dominant, then you got to shoot left-handed. So most folks, if you're right-handed, you'll be right eye dominant. But there are some folks who are right-handed but left eye dominant. So there's that. So next thing up is the actual bow itself. So this I actually purchased from Three Rivers Archery. It was kind of expensive, but it's really quiet, really good bow. It's 33 pounds of resistance. So simply how to string this, it's very easy. You take one part and put it by your ankle, like such. Then you take your other leg, you're gonna put it over here in the middle part, and then you're just gonna pull this back with your left hand, like so. And don't be afraid. Some people kind of freak out when they pull it back because like, oh, well, the wood's gonna break. The wood's designed to be bent. So don't be afraid, just pull it back, and then you just put it right in the gap right there, and then you're good to go. You pull it out, and now the bow is strung and good to go. And now you're ready to use for actually shooting at the target, which we'll get to in a minute. All right, so we have our protective stuff on, we've got our bow strung, so now we're gonna talk about how to actually shoot. Now, someone once told me when it comes to archery, it's down to three things: form, form, and more form. So if you have a good form, you should be okay. So basically the first thing, before you even put the arrow on the bow or anything, is to stand correctly. So what you want to do is stand with, I'm going to shoot, like I said, from right-handed. So I want to have my right foot back like this. I want to have my left foot a little bit at an angle in front of it. That way when I actually release the string, it won't strike my forearm, because that also hurts a lot. That's what you do first. Then what you're going to do is, once you get that set up, you obviously make sure that you're in line with your target in a straight line. That's the easiest way to shoot to most accurately. And then you're going to get your arrow. And now we're going to put it on the actual bow. So you have three colors, or two colors on there, three fletchings. The one that's the opposite is the one you put on the outside. All right, so it's simple as take this, in this case the green, and we're going to put that on the outside, and then we're going to click it in underneath the mark right there. Now, once you have that set, you can keep your finger over the arrow to hold it in place, make sure it doesn't fall off or maneuver off of the bow. But once you go to shoot, you're going to take that off. All right, so then we're going to turn and face our target. You're also not going to go straight up like that. We're going to have a little bit of an angle, and then we're going to have one finger on top of the arrow, one finger underneath, and then all we're going to do is pull it back all the way to the corner of the mouth right here. And then once you do that and have your target sighted, you let it go. A lot of times in compound bows, folks take a while to shoot. They have a target and they kind of point the aimer at the target, and then what they'll do is they'll kind of hold on for a little while and then shoot. With a recurve bow, you pretty much shoot on instinct, and once you get the target in sight, the longer you actually try to hold the string back here, the harder it actually gets to keep it steady and to keep a stable platform, which is one of the other big components when you actually go to shoot. So then what happens is, you get stress fatigued and then you end up missing. So it's best to kind of sight the target, and then once you get there, pull the string back, and then within a second or two, let it go, and then hit the target. So we're going to walk through all that. So again, all the way back, angle, hit the target. And then when you let it back too, you actually don't, when you release, you'll kind of release like that off of the fingers. So it kind of rolls off your fingers when you let it go. So we'll do the same thing again, but a little quicker this time. So same concept, and then we just back, just like that. And then you just keep doing the same thing. And it also helps too, besides letting it roll off your fingers, to kind of flex that muscle and kind of pull it back and not let it hang there, not let your arm hang, but actually kind of pull it back a little bit and kind of like you're kind of puffing out your chest to try to let it ride a little bit. All right, so you can see we've done pretty good. Really, it doesn't, whatever you're aiming at, it's all about, like I said, all comes down to form. And what you want to do is you want to try to get a good grouping of arrows. So what I kind of have on the target there is a good grouping of arrows where the arrows are clustered together. That means that you're consistently doing the same thing. All right, so that means you're consistently doing the same motion, you're hitting the same area, and it's very important. If you have good grouping, what that means is that all that form is good, and all you need to do is just move it to wherever it is. So release the arrow a little sooner, hold on a little bit longer, move the bow a little bit. So you want to see good grouping over kind of shooting arrows all over the target, because that grouping means that, again, you have that consistency, and that consistency is the key.